Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queeneth. I stumbled upon this video on Instagram and I really liked the outfit and I thought to recreate it. So if this is something that you would like to learn, please keep on watching. The patterns we'll be needing for this tutorial is our upper and our lower bodies. I've gone ahead to draw out the vertical measurements for the upper bodies. I've marked my shoulder line, my chest line, my bust point, my under bust, and this is my waist. The next thing we are going to mark is our bust span. Mine is 7.5 and half of it is going to give me 3.75. So I will just mark that 3.75. Yeah, I'm going to mark it all the way to the bust point. Then this is to create my dart, and for my dart legs I am making use of half an inch. So at the under bust for tightening, I am going to come in by half an inch on both sides. So I really do not want it cupped because we are not putting a breast cup in it, neither are we padding it. So just to give it a little bit of fit around that area. So from this point, I'm joining it down to the waistline. The next thing we are going to do is to use a slight curve connecting from this point to this point. Really slight curve. So now that we've gotten this, we are going to for the midpoint of the shoulder, and we're going to make a straight line from that point to the nipple point. I marked my midpoint. I will just go ahead to connect these lines this way. So now that I've gotten this, I am going to mark my off shoulder point. That is where I want the off shoulder to start from. Point, I'm going to come down by 6 inches and I will draw a straight line. You can come down by 7. It all depends on how low you want it to be. But I don't need mine really low, so that is why I'm coming down by 6 inches. So from here, from this center point, I am going in by half an inch, and from this other side, I'm going in by quarter of an inch. Then I am going to connect. The next thing we are going to do is to impute our horizontal measurements. Quarter of my bust measurement is 9 inches. I will just make that mark. Then I would mark quarter of my waist measurement. Waist measurement is 7.25. Then taking into consideration this that I removed, so I'm going to add it back, which is 1 inch. The next thing I will do is just to connect the curves. So now that we've gotten this, we can now draw our armhole. So I will just draw my armhole this way. So the next thing I will do is to add my allowance. So I'm adding 1 inch allowance. So since it's a tube and it depends on how low you want the curve to be around the armhole. I don't want mine to be revealing, so I am going to use my curve to take this up a bit. So from this point, I'm just going to use my curve to take it up this way. So this is how I want it to look, and I would. So this is it for the front. I would go ahead and also I'll go ahead and extend these lines for the back. I've extended the back and marked out my horizontal measurements as I did for the front, including my zipper allowance, which was 1 inch. I'm taking the measurement of what I have at that armhole part, and I'm going to impute same at the back. So I'm connecting it to the zipper allowance part. So you're ruling your line based on how low you want your back to be. So however you want it to be, you just connect with your ruler. The next thing I'm doing is tightening my dart at the upper part to avoid it from gaping. So I'm just extending the lines by 0.25 upwards. So I'm taking the measurement for my strap. So from the shoulder to where the tube started from, you do same for the front and the back. So what I have is 12.5 inches, and that's how long my strap is going to be. So I initially forgot to add my seam allowance to my back panel, so I've already done that, and I will just cut the front and the back on my fabric. So guys, I already had an old drafted skirt pattern, and that is what I'm using. That's the beauty of pattern drafting, because you can always alter your patterns to your desired style which you want to make. So if you want to learn how to draft a skirt pattern, I have made a video of it, and the link would be in the description box. So I'm trying to make the base for my ruffles, and first you will fold the fabric in half and fold it over as though you're trying to make a circle skirt. So first you would measure how wide you want your circle to be from the folded edge of your fabric, and I'm just marking 8 inches round. The next thing I'm cutting are the strips which we're going to be using in making our ruffles. Let's measure 6 inches straight and cut. So guys, these are my patterns. This is my skirt piece and my upper bodice. Then this is the base for my ruffles. So you can use any fabric of your choice because it's not going to show. But I still have to maintain same orange, but I'm not using the Mikado. I'm using an orange satin. So I cut 2 because I'm going to be sewing it and turning it inside out. Then this is for my ruffle. So you're just going to basically cut long strips out as much as possible to be able to go around this. After sewing your base, the next thing is to sew your strips. Remember, our strap measured 6 inches, so folding it into 2 is going to give us 3 inches. So I'm just going to sew that. So I'm going to join all fabrics together, like all the strips together, to create a very long strip that is going to go around the base. So I've ironed my base, and I used hemming gum to close up the area which I left open to turn it inside out. The next thing we'll do is to pleat the long strip which we've created. So before you pleat, you need to secure the open edge by folding it in and sewing. I'm done pleating, so now I am going to sew the pleat on the base round, like in a circular motion. You can actually use your chalk to create a guide for you to sew it round. So guys, setting our base aside, this is my upper bodice with the lining which I have interfaced and my skirt fabric. So I'm just going to join all of them. So guys, this is my upper bodice which I have joined, and this is the lining. So the next thing we're going to do is to attach our straps. Remember, we measured 12.5 as the strap, and we're going to be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. So first you are going to place that strap at the center of the front where your bustier line is, and you pin. You do same for the other side. Then the next thing you do is to place your lining on top of it. So now we are just sewing only the front, that is from one edge of the front to the other edge. We are not sewing the back. After fixing the front, you will repeat same process for the back. So in order to fix the strap at the back, the side of the strap which has the seam line is going to be facing outwards, while the side that doesn't have the seam line is going to be facing the fabric directly, that is right sides facing right sides. So you're going to place it this way and pin. Then afterwards you place your lining like so and you stitch. So this is my front and this is my back. So I would go ahead now to join the skirt part. Afterwards I would fix the zip and also hem the lower part of my dress. So guys, this is my dress, and the last step is to place our ruffles to it. So we just basically place it and pin it down. Afterwards you use your invisible thread to tack it. So guys, this is me fitting my dress and I'm really loving the outcome. Well, I forgot to mention, you'll be needing just 1 yard of fabric. That is what I used was 1 yard of Mikado and 1 yard of the flowery fabric. So guys, if this video was helpful, do well to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next one.